Welcome to the Verdin Verdict Sports Show. I'm your host, Jacob Verdin. Got my guy G-Sportz in the chat. You ready to talk some ball, G? Fall camp. It's underway. No more waiting.
We close to the football season, and this time of the year, we just trying to figure out things to talk about, man, to get us to that first week of the season. So
You
let's
ain't
get it.
lying. Yeah, and then we got to try to simmer the expectations because the preseason, the Kool-Aid is getting sweet, dog. It got a lot of sugar in it. Got a lot of notes, got a lot of takeaways. Brian Kelly took the podium today for the first time since, I would say, SEC Media Days. Gave us some good information, good updates, good insights. We'll break everything down for you as per usual. Hit that like button, subscribe button live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 1 o'clock. Tomorrow, we'll have another highlight video for you and Saturday. I'll remind you about that throughout the stream, though. Let's jump right into Brian Kelly, G. What he had to say. What good, what bad. Let's shorten it all up. So the workout today, obviously, he said it's a acclimating to the whole entire spring. That's a big word, G. We started off early this morning. Got to break out the dog. But the first 7 days, he said, is when you more than likely see all the soft tissue injuries, all the small injuries, you know, the things that are nagging you throughout the entire season. And he wants to get them out there at their own pace. Throughout the next 3 weeks, they're going to ramp it up. They only worked out for, I believe, an hour today. We got to film 15 minutes of that hour. But for the most part, like he said, it's just finding out the guys with the new numbers. He's got a note card next to him with all the different people that are changing. Ahmad Burrow, we saw, is number 16. You got some newcomers in Aiden Anding, JT Lindsay, both of them are number 23. Keelan Moses, number 32. And he gave us an update on Dominic McKinley, who apparently has been hitting the weight room, dog. I mean, we're expecting big things from him. He had a big season last year. He's a big dude in general, 6'6", 308 pounds. Dog, he's squatting 650, G. And word around the street is they ran out of weight plates for him in the facility. I don't know how true that is. We did the math before stream. That's about 745s on each side, counting the 45 bar. Come on, man. We can't find some more plates for our big guy. What's your reaction to all these things and how you feeling as camp just getting started?
I'm waiting for him to get in pads when the bullets get to flying. I want to see who physical, who not physical. I'm waiting to see who could play through the little knick-knack injuries, who's tough. That's what I'm waiting to see. So I'm waiting to see, you know, how this offensive line go against that front seven, because that's kind of something similar to what they're going to see against Clemson.
Yep.
Right now, I think they're just trying to get in the swing of things, making sure people understand, you know, what a lineup is, you know, the small little intricate details of the offense and the defense. Too much. It's not too much you're going to see right now, you know, on the first day of fall camp. I'm waiting to see till they get in the pads.
Yep. I saw something today, though, dog. I'm going to have to pop this up. We got Texas in the chat talking about that juke brought me here. Brother, if y'all did not see this, y'all got to tap in off this real quick. Blake Baker getting out there, getting nasty with it. Nasty in traffic with it, dog. Look at this. Him. How you ain't tearing ACL out there, bro? Come on. And we talked to him about this.
He can't fumble it before you get to the goal line. You got to finish, Blake. You got to finish. We preach finishing. You got to finish.
Come on, man.
Couldn't handle success, Blake.
It's the little
He couldn't handle success.
Bro, you got two. Like, man, I ain't even think he had this in him, bro. Lord.
What DB is that?
Number 23, man.
That's
break my roster out.
That's Aiden.
Yeah, we just said, bro, hey, you just acclimating to it. That's all. Like BK said, it's an acclimatization process, man. You're just getting used to it. You're just getting out here. You're getting fresh. You're shaking the cobwebs off. Boy, that was nasty, though. That was one of the coldest things that I've seen out of any coach in this entire LSU history that I've been in.
Blake's still in shape, though, bro. Like, Blake look like he could line up at Mike linebacker right now and be like, let's go.
And that's what he was saying. He told us that. He's like, man, I feel like I can still put it on there and get out there for a few times.
He might need to gain some of that weight back that he had when he was at Tulane, but he can still go, bro. Good feet work right there by Blake. If I had to rate it 1 to 10, I'd give him probably like an 8.8.
Come on. And that's high praise, bro. This ain't no run-of-the-mill coach over here, dog. Let's jump into this defensive line, break this down. We talked about Dominic McKinley at the beginning of the show, but let's give a more love to the Kyle Williams and company rotation. They're out there hustling. This is a rotation we saw for now, to be determined on if it's finalized. You got Gabe Relaford. He's been getting a lot of praise, a lot of flowers, if you will, all season long. He's looking good out there. Ahmad Burrow, Dominic McKinley, and then Jack Pyburn. However, the transfer from South Florida, Bernard Gooden, number 88, he did turn some heads as well, and I think he could get pushed into that lineup. But I want to ask you this, G, and I'm going to let you reflect to the defensive line rotation we talked about. Jacoby and Guillory. He's got to be the player on this team with the most experience. And the most. Yeah, you have some players that are more talented potentially, and Harold Perkins and Whit Weeks and Mansour Delane. However, but when you're talking about 5 years of SEC experience, that's a hell of a lot. And I mean, he's playing throughout all of those seasons. Yeah, he has the injury and things didn't go the way he wanted. But I want to ask you, do you think that he's on a slow grind getting back into this lineup, and will he make his way into this rotation? And if so, who do you think he pulls out?
Yeah, I think they're just slow playing it right now. Like they're not in pads. I mean, they well not in full pads at least. You know that they deep at D tackle right now with Dominic McKinley, Amaya Bro. You got Sadir Mitchell that came in from the University of Texas. Gooden that came in from South Florida. So they have some depth right there. So there's no need for Guillory to rush back, right? And then you want to give those guys some reps and get them up to speed, like Sadir Mitchell and Gooden, the 2 transfers. So I think this is not nothing to worry about. I think when they probably get into the second week of fall camp, I think you'll see Jacoby and Guillory make his presence known.
Yeah, that's kind of one of my things that I was watching all camp. We saw him in the open, the indie periods. We saw him kind of moving around, looks healthy. Harold Perkins, another person I want to talk about real quick on this defensive side in terms of seeing him back in the fold. We didn't get to see him at all throughout the spring. You hear at the media days, with whether it be Witt talking or Nuss or whoever is getting interviewed, they're all praising not only Harold Perkins being one of the best players in the defense, but just how quick he was able to recover. And then on top of it, he's going into a new position, the star, and everybody wants to circle it and make a bunch of notes about it. But the one takeaway, the positive thing that I will say for 7, he looks like he's 100%. He looked fluid, didn't look like anything was holding him back. And that's a worry when you're recovering from something like an ACLG. You can't just take for granted that these guys are going to jump back in the field and instantly be able to produce. And quite frankly, I think that 7's going to be able to do it. Talk about the addition to him in the scheme, because you can't talk defensive line, trenches, and pressure without talking about 7. I feel like that'll be a key integral part to this entire season.
Yeah, Harold Perkins is for sure an impact player, and he's going to make this defense elite with his traits that he bring, as far as rushing the passer, as far as him being able to drop in coverage, as far as him being able to run sideline to sideline. Harold's going to bring a key element to the defense. I think the biggest thing for Blake right now is making sure that Blake is trying to make sure that Harold is sound. He's disciplined. He has good eye discipline. He's reading his keys the right way. I think that's the important thing right now for Harold. And if he does that, then his instincts could take over. Now he doesn't have to think. He can play fast. And the more reps he get throughout fall camp, I think he'll be ready for Clemson.
I think so too. I mean, that is going to be a big part, going on the road against a tough team, having to be able to show some muscle, if you will. And I think the next big part, G, is going to be that offensive line. And I feel like, man, what's the saying? Beating a dead horse, dog. We are pounding that thing. I mean, baseball bat, glove in hand, everything, going ham, driver, whatever you want to say, whatever type of sporting club you want to use in reference to this comparison. It's been endless, but we got to talk about it. Offensive line rotation, that at least through what we've seen, is no surprises in terms of who's out there. You got Tyree Adams, DJ Chester, Braylon Moore, Josh Thompson, then Weston Davis. And like I said, that's about what we expected. Now, I want to ask you this. Is it too early? And I feel like I know the answer to this question, but is it too early for us to even get excited, to even think this is close to being finalized? Because you hear the quote from BK at the beginning of the presser, almost every position is up for grabs. Now, I'm not going to use the word smokescreen or the phrase smokescreen to describe this, but what if they just completely reverse this offensive line by Clemson? Is that a possibility, or is that far-fetched?
I think the only person on the offensive line that for sure will be starting week 1 that you just have no questions about is DJ Chester.
Because of the experience.
Because of the experience, and he's the versatility of him being able to play center and guard. I would anticipate that Braylon Moore or Josh Thompson, one of those 2 guys will for sure start. Maybe both. We'll see. But that positional battle at left tackle, right tackle, left guard, I think is up in the air. I know Weston Davis is somebody that they're very high on, and he has a good chance to start week 1. But like I say, when they get in the pass and the bullets get to flying, if he can't live up to the standard in the bill, I can see him moving Josh Thompson to right tackle.
Yep.
Right? And now that right guard and that left guard spot is kind of up for grabs. Right? Do you move? Is DJ Chester at left guard? Braylon Moore at center? Who's at right guard? Is it Mabinga? Right? Is it one of the freshmen?
Cohen Eccles?
You know, I don't know. So I think that's gonna be the key to when the pads get on. You know, they're gonna have to see the cohesiveness, the camaraderie this offensive line has together. But that first five that's out there, I think if I had to put my money on it, that's who's gonna be starting week 1. Tyree Adams left tackle, DJ Chester at left guard, Braylon Moore at center, Josh Thompson at right guard, Weston Davis at right tackle.
Makes the most sense. And in my notes, the only two I could see somehow, some way moving would be DJ maybe moving back to center at times because that's where he played. That's probably the backup after a Braylon Moore potentially. And I want to ask you this in terms of Paul Mubanga getting in, getting active. Last year he plays left guard. Let's say hypothetically Thompson moves over to right tackle and that right guard spot opens up. What's the difference, if anything, for a guard going from the blind side to the right side? Are there going to be some challenges, maybe some growing pains that Mubanga is going to experience, or will, quite frankly, it be easier because now you're not on that impact side?
Nah, not at either guard. When you talk about right tackle and left tackle, I think that's a major difference. But as far as left guard and right guard, I don't think it's too much that'll be different for Mabanga if he had to change from left guard to right guard. I think, you know, you're still gonna be taking on those D tackles, right? You're still gonna be taking on those A gap, B cap pressures from the linebackers. So I don't think it'll be too much of a difference for him if he moves to right guard.
All right. And another update here for this offensive line group. Solomon Thomas will be out for a month with a foot injury. Now, he wasn't going to get, huge reps, and I don't think that there was any consideration of him being implemented to the starting lineup, especially this early. But fall camp for a freshman, for a young player in general, very pivotal. It's going to be, I'm not going to say bad that he's missing this time, but it's not the best thing for them so far. What's your reaction to that injury?
Nah, man, a month. So it's not like he's off for the season. He's gonna have to get a lot of mental reps. And I do think Solomon Thomas has a bright future. I think he's gonna be somebody that's gonna be in the mix to be one of the first offensive linemen to rotate in as a true freshman. I think he's that good as an offensive lineman. So I don't think there's anything to worry about with him being out of money. He's a kid that's very, very smart, very determined. I can see him getting a lot of mental reps and not losing a beat. Now, as far as him being able to stay in shape, you're going to have to watch his weight and watching what he put in his body, not being able to be conditioned and do any suicides and gases and being out in that sun to make sure he's staying in shape.
And this was kind of part of the process that Coach Kelly was talking about at the beginning of the stream that we mentioned, just trying to get them back into gear, not jumping out there day one of fall camp and acting like it's week 1 and you're going full speed, you're going 100%, you're pulling something, tearing something, or getting sidelined. It's all about getting that conditioning back, like you said. Let's talk wide receiver real quick because, boy, that room is stacked, star-studded, whatever you want to say. One key takeaway here. Nick Anderson did not play in the contact portion of practice. He wasn't there in the individual drills. He was in pads. He was suited up. So he's cleared in that sense, but no contact, no 7-on-7, no 11-on-11. Brian Kelly said he should be out there tomorrow involved in those actions, but we will see. That's stemming back from the fender bender earlier this summer that they put him in concussion protocol, and now he cleared everything. He's back out there, at least in this regard. Here's an interesting takeaway, though. I got 2 of them. First things first, Berrien Brown. And through spring, I saw a lot from Berrien, a lot of flashes, a lot of what looked like chemistry with Garrett Nussmeier. And it's hard to say because not only were they there for 2-3 months together, it was a short time, but it's also early on in your process where they weren't playing the full LSU defense, and it could have just been a little bit of a glimpse, and you didn't want to overreact. But now I'm ready to overreact, though. The speed that he's going to be able to possess and how you line him up, let's say he's opposite of a Chris Hilton, have fun. Have fun guarding that because these are some vertical threats. And I feel like Nussmeier is going to be able to not only benefit from an option like this, but everybody's talking about gunslinging. Everybody's talking about having safe options to throw the football to. I mean, what's safer than somebody smushing a corner on a goal and they got 20 yards of separation? All right, maybe not 20, but you get the drift I'm putting down. I feel like Berrien Brown's going to have a big season this year. He's going to be a big option, big look. Another guy, somebody that you're high on, Destin Hill, had a great day today at practice as well. Now, there's no question that you have talented wideouts. Brian Kelly was on a soundbite saying that they have 8 SEC wide receivers that they believe are ready for competition this fall. Could be one of the deepest rooms, the most dangerous rooms. What's your reaction to that? The speed, Berrien Brown, and Destin Hill looking good.
Yeah, I think Berrien Brown is going to bring a added feature to this offense, being able to blow the top off the defense along with Chris Hilton. I don't think that Berrien Brown is going to be somebody where he's going to catch for 1,000 yards because Berrien Brown has to show another step, in my opinion, that he can be a pure raw receiver. This is an SEC, bro. Like nobody just going to let him line up and run nines all day and score touchdowns week in and week out and catch for over 100 yards in his office. It's just not going to happen. Maybe in another conference he might be able to get away with that. It's not going to happen in the SEC. He's going to have to show that he can be effective in the intermediate game. He's going to have to show that he can be a pure receiver from top to bottom. And I'm not saying he can't do it, but we haven't seen that in the past at Kentucky. And I think he's going to be an impact in the return game. I think he's going to open up a lot for people like Bauer Sharp, Trey Dez Green, Nick Anderson if he's healthy, Aaron Anderson,
Chris Hill.
That's Destin Hill. He's going to open up a lot because when he goes in motion or he's on whatever side of the field he's on and he's running a post, a deep post or a corner or a nine, right? He's going to take that safety and bring him with him, and which is going to open up the middle of the field. So I think he's going to be more of a decoy than a receiver that we're going to see that's going to have a ton of production. But I can see Berrien Brown catching about 500 to 600 yards and maybe 5 tutties. That's a pretty good season, and that's the value that I think he brings to this offense. And we talk about Destin Hill, covered him since he's been in ninth grade at Edna Call. Very, very polished, hard worker, very smart, understands concepts and defenses and things of that nature. He's going to be ready to play from a mental standpoint. The thing with Destin Hill, we know he's coming off that torn ACL. We know he's coming off that fractured foot from over the spring. If he's healthy and he's back to the 100% Destin Hill that I know he could be, he's definitely going to have an impact on his offense. And when you talk about him saying having 8 receivers ready for the SEC, let's count them off. We go with Aaron Anderson, 1, Berrien Brown, 2, Nick Anderson, 3, Chris Hilton, 4, Destin Hill, 5, Xavier Thomas, 6, Kyle Parker, 7. I would have to go with Colin Billiard as 8. So maybe that's the 8 he's talking about. We'll see. And then the other receivers in the room is Phillip Wright, Jelani Watkins, and Teron Francis. So, I would think that with Jelani Watkins not being there for the spring because he was running track, I can't see him just hopping into that top 8 because of all the time that he's missed. And from what I've been told, he didn't really come. He really didn't participate in the PRP practices. I think he was there for a few of them, but for what I was told, he didn't compete or participate in it. So I think that would be the top 8 that's going to be traveling and be in rotation this upcoming season.
No, it's big for Joe Sloan because you were talking about the Berrien Brown scheme and just being able to open the field up for guys. Not to mention, we haven't even talked about the running back room yet. We're talking about just strictly passing, just strictly aerial assault. One of the best quarterbacks in college football, dog. You still got Caden Durham, who's coming off of a huge debut season, who was hurt. I mean, we're going to beat that dead horse as well. Now he's 100%. Now he's healthy. Now he can be mixed into the fold in just about any regard. Then you mix in Caleb Jackson. Then you got Harlan Berry, JT Lindsay as well, who we saw both of them out there getting active as well with Coach Frank, doing some pass pro, doing some blocking, doing some nice, the little things, the foundation, the fundamentals to keep them ready, if you will, when their number gets called. Let's go to the chat real quick. Got some guys. Got Floby popping off in the chat. Floby, I can always count on you, dog. I know you're going to say something, bro. It might be crazy, but hey, he always got something to chime in on, G. He said, kind of worried, only showed Nuss throw on one pass. Tell me he did good. Yeah, Nuss did good. So the way I responded to your comment, I saw it. We come in, they're already doing practice. We get about 15 minutes, and then we got to turn the cameras off. Then the magic starts happening when the camera's off. That's when Nussmeyer started throwing in live reps. He looked good. I'm not going to sit here and say that he looked bad. I think he had his gunslinging ability on full display. I think he's got what I really want to focus on is that it's tough for me to watch practice reps, G, and get like 100% on board with the offense looking great because I just feel like the defense at times, two things. One, the defense is not going to go out there and kill them. They're not trying to push Garrett Nussmeier all over the field, knock him on his back, yada, yada, yada. Two, I feel like the defense kind of gets the hang of what the offense is going out there and doing. Like you see these plays over and over and over. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say they know what the offense is doing, but sometimes it feels like that. However, I will give them credit. We got Blanche. Look at you guys jumping on it. Come on, man. We don't miss a beat. We don't miss a beat. You know the drill. Floby once again, ridiculous to me saying people are saying Nussmeier's injury prone. Only got injured once, not made out of glass. Oh, Lord. Here you go with DJ Lagway, bro. Man, already going back up. We got Blanche in the chat. DJ Lagway equals Miles Brennan. Man. DJ Lagway isn't a boot right now. So that's the only thing that I would say would potentially be a worry. But, bro, at this point in the season, fall camp, you got 3 weeks left. I don't think if it was a worry, if it was a major derailing factor from Florida, I feel like we would probably we would be smelling it already. We'd be smelling the fire, smelling the smoke. What you think about this? DJ Lagway in a boot. You ain't worried about it?
Sometimes they put players in a boot just for precaution. It don't necessarily mean they broke an ankle or broke their foot or fractured it. Sometimes it just is just precaution measures, and I haven't seen anything where he's going to miss significant time for fall camp. So I think it's just precautionary.
I think so too. Got 50 people in the chat, 60 people all together. Y'all smash that like button. Go follow us on socials. You know the drill. Live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 1 p.m. Got some practice coverage coming for you tomorrow morning around 11 a.m. Saturday morning, once again. Not going to miss any beats. We're going to be putting the highlights out. Quick bites on socials and then reacting to it live as we did right now. Go check out the highlight video if you haven't already. Go tap in, do what you got to do, wash your dishes, cook your lunch. If you got some errands to run, bring some headphones, do whatever, man. Lock in because LSU football is picking up. Got about 3 weeks, G? 3.5 weeks, if you will. Less than 4. So less than a month away. So everybody in this, y'all know where to get your LSU football news. Y'all know where to tap in. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. I think we're going to hop out of here, G. You got anything you want to say before we close the curtain?
Nah, I'm good, bro.
All right. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Be here tomorrow, 11 a.m. More practice highlights for you. Y'all have a good one. This has been the Verdin Verdict. My guy, G-Sportz. Y'all hit that thumbs up.